Hey guys, so this video is going to be a glimpse into my everyday makeup routine using some very basic products and doing a very basic face that's kind of light, bright, no eyeshadows. I'm really emphasizing kind of the skin and the lashes and of course the brows, that's a must. So if you would like to see how to do a very quick everyday makeup look, then keep on watching. So the first thing you're going to do is of course moisturize, not just your face but also your lips. So I've been using the dry skin cream from Pond's for the face, and then the Vaseline Rosy Lips, what do you call this, lip therapy, I can't even speak. Use the Vaseline Rosy Lips moisturizer for the lips. So that's been sitting for a little while. So the next thing that I like to use is this new primer that I actually just started trying recently. It's a Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer, and it works wonders. So a little bit goes a long way. You just use your fingers. Of course is your base, your foundation. So I've been using L'Oreal's True Match. I always go back to this foundation. My color is N6 Honey Beige, and I just apply it with my finger. And I don't use the infamous beauty blender just because my MAC 187 brush, the Duo Fiber brush, is just so much easier to use. I don't have to run to the sink to get it dampened every morning. So I just focus from the middle outwards. So after you blend in your foundation, you go in with your concealer. So of course, I still use my favorite. It's MAC's Pro Longwear Concealer in NW20. It's a little bit more of a pinker shade, and it's definitely a lot lighter. It's about 2 shades lighter than my actual complexion. And again, you apply it with your trusty finger, ring finger to be exact. Whatever is left over around the nose because it gets red. After you get all your cream products on, or your liquid products, then you go in, of course, with your setting powder. So I'm sure all of you are familiar now with the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I just use a plain old school triangular sponge that of course you dispose frequently. Again, you don't have to get that moist every day, so it saves you a lot of time. So what you're going to do is the same thing as if you would use a beauty blender. You put a little bit right on there. You tap it right underneath on top of that concealer to seal it in. Woo-wee, that is a lot. Good gracious. I don't bake, as they say, because I don't have time for that. So you just keep patting it in until it sits nicely on top of the concealer. You see I'm bringing in a little bit more into the center of the nose, just so everything blends in nicely. You bring it up a little bit towards the hairline, and you bring it downwards towards the cheekbone. So I only use the sponge to dab the setting powder onto the concealer. But for the rest of the face, I use a large powder brush. And this one is just a regular powder brush. I don't even know who it's from, to be honest with you. I got it in my Ipsy bag, I think. Which, by the way, I'll do a video on because I love Ipsy. So it's always in the top of the lid of the container. And then you just buff it into the skin. And that's that. So you got the foundation, the concealer, and the setting powder. Then we're going to go ahead and do our brows. So I am using the Anastasia's Duo Powder, Eye Powder. am actually running out of it. It's actually in dark brown, so I'm probably going to refill on that. You can just use a basic angle brush. The one I'm using has been in my brush holder for years. It was a Bobbi Brown one, but I'm just gonna go ahead and use this duo brush from Crown Brushes. I don't even know where these brushes are from. I need to hold this up so I can see. So a little goes a long way. Of course, with the brows, you're gonna want to start a little bit right before the middle, not at the beginning. You're gonna outline the bottom with your powder, pencil, whatever it is. Sometimes I use a brow wax to kind of hold the powder in place, so you'd use that first. But again, in the morning, I don't have time for that. So, now with the brows, you don't gotta do anything fancy with it. I don't even clean it up with concealer or anything like that. Again, it's just every day, something quick, something simple. Then you go in with your mascara. The mascara that I've been using and loving is Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. It's the waterproof version, which is amazing, especially for summertime when it gets humid or you start sweating, whatever, but it stays on so much better. I love the original version, but this one is just a plus. And the packaging is really cool too. So I apply this heavily. So this is actually probably what takes up the most time in the morning, but you apply as however much you desire. Once you get your mascara, as you please, the next thing is going to be the contour, the bronzer, the blush. I tend to just use a bronzer as a contour. It's just kind of where you place the bronzer is pretty much all the what contouring is placement. So I am using, woo, that is powdery, MAC's Mineralized Skin Finish. It's super duper natural, especially because it's more of a skin finish, so it's a finishing powder. And I'm using it in Give Me Sun, which is a limited color. I actually got mine when it first released, who knows how long ago, and I was lucky enough to find it at the outlets at the cosmetic company store. So definitely check that out. I got 2 of them because I knew I wasn't going to come across it. So you apply it with, I'm just using the MAC 129 blush brush, but you just apply it underneath the cheekbone, back more towards the ear, so it acts as kind of like a contour, but it looks like a bronzer. Once you have it started back here, you bring it a little closer to the mouth and nose region, but not super close, to the point where it creates too much of a shadow. Without dipping your brush back into product, you're going to go ahead and do your temples, a little bit on the nose, and then on the jawline. And then for blush, I use a longer brush, so it's a little bit more long and tapered. This is the MAC 136 brush, and I use MAC's Blush and Peach Twist. It still kind of has that coppery undertone to it, with definitely a lot more of that, like that desert pink to it. And it has a little bit of a shimmer as well. Again, a little bit goes a long way. And you do more on the apples. You dab, then you brush it back into the bronzer. And then your lips are already moisturized, so you're gonna finish off with a lip My trick that I use for myself and all other clients is using a lip liner as an all over color. My favorite go-to is MAC's lip liner in Soar. It's a nice kind of like a deep rose color. I use this in all seasons. Whirl is a good one. What else do I use? Subculture is a lot lighter, more nude. I go in lightly. And that's that. I don't even really put a lip gloss on top of the lip liner. Sometimes I'm just not a gloss person, so I like to keep it more neutral and kind of matte. And that is all. I don't do any highlight or anything like that. Again, you keep it basic, you keep it simple. It still looks light and bright. And that is it for that video. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram, same screen name, VietXPinay. Snapchat is VietXPinay as well. Follow me on there. And my Facebook is also up and running. You can search for Makeup by Amy, and that's AIMEE. And I guess I will see you next week for another video.